The sands of the Colosseum had tasted the blood of thousands, slaves, warriors, champions, but never before had it been stained with the blood of something not of this world. The crowd roared like a storm, their voices rising in a frenzy as the gates of the arena groaned open. Today was not like any other day. Today, Rome had captured a demon, a beast unlike anything the empire had ever seen. Among the warriors forced to stand, against it were the greatest of the gladiators, Spartacus, Crixus, Gannicus, Agron, and Castus. Once slaves, they had risen in defiance of Rome, their names whispered in the streets as legends. But today, they were not rebels. Today, they were entertainment. High above the arena, perched on his golden throne, the arrogant and sadistic Marcus Crassus watched with amusement. The Roman Senate had long feared Spartacus and his rebellion, but fate had played a cruel hand. The Thracian warrior and his most trusted brothers in arms had been captured after a long and bitter struggle. Rather than crucifixion, Crassus had devised something far worse, a trial by combat against a nightmare. The crowd stilled as the second gate rumbled open. A low, guttural clicking sound echoed across the arena. From the darkness it stepped forward, 7 feet of sheer muscle wrapped in strange armor, its mandibles twitching as it studied its prey. Its dreadlocked head tilted slightly, as if it could smell the warriors before it. The sun glistened against the curved blades strapped to its wrists, and its yellow eyes gleamed with cold calculation. The gladiators stiffened. This was no ordinary beast. They had faced lions, elephants, and even the most vicious gladiators Rome had to offer. But this was something else. Gannicus, ever the reckless one, flashed a grin. "A strange foe, this one," he said, twirling his twin swords. "Perhaps the gods seek to test us." Agron tightened his grip on his shield. "Then let the gods bear witness. We have slain Rome's champions. We will slay this beast as well." Spartacus, standing at the center, studied the creature with narrowed eyes. He could sense its intelligence, the way it moved, the way it measured them. This was no mindless brute. It was a predator, a hunter. The silence was shattered by the sound of the horn. The battle had begun. Gannicus was the first to move, a blur of speed and steel. His sword sang as he rushed forward, slashing in a wide arc. But the creature was faster. It ducked low, its movements impossibly swift, and with a flick of its wrist blade extended, meeting Gannicus's steel with a deafening clang. Sparks flew as the two exchanged a flurry of blows, Gannicus moving like a tempest, the predator countering each strike with terrifying precision. Crixus roared and charged, his shield raised high. The Gaul slammed into the beast, driving it back, his gladius stabbing for its exposed ribs. The blade connected, but instead of flesh, it scraped against armor. The predator's mandibles flared in irritation. With inhuman strength, it lashed out, sending Crixus flying across the sand. Agron and Castus moved together, striking from both sides. Agron's shield deflected a swipe from the creature's deadly claws, while Castus lunged low, aiming for its legs. The predator leapt into the air, twisting its body unnaturally before landing behind them. Then it vanished. The crowd gasped as the creature seemed to fade into thin air, its body bending the light around it. Spartacus' heart pounded. It was a trick, a dark magic of some kind. He barked an order. "Stay together! Watch the sand." The gladiators circled up, their eyes scanning the arena. Then, a blur, a shimmer, a flash of steel. Castus barely had time to scream before he was impaled, the predator's wrist blade tearing through his chest. Blood sprayed across the sand as the creature lifted him effortlessly, his lifeless body twitching before it was tossed aside like a rag doll. The crowd erupted into cheers and horror alike. Rage burned in Spartacus's chest. His brother had fallen. Rome cheered his death. No more. With a roar, Spartacus surged forward, his gladius slashing downward. The predator turned, but Spartacus anticipated its movement, twisting mid-strike and plunging his blade into its shoulder. Black blood oozed from the wound, and for the first time, the predator staggered back. Crixus and Agron seized the opening, attacking from both sides. Crixus's shield bashed against the creature's ribs, while Agron's sword cut deep into its thigh. Gannicus, ever the opportunist, launched himself into the air, his sword slicing across its face. The predator let out an ear-splitting shriek. Its mask was damaged, revealing part of its grotesque, mandible-filled face. It glared at them, fury burning in its yellow eyes. Then it reached for something on its wrist. A clicking sound, a rising hum. Spartacus barely had time to react before a bright blue blast shot from the creature's shoulder cannon. The energy struck Agron full in the chest, tearing through his armor and sending his charred body crashing into the sand. The scent of burnt flesh filled the air. Shock rippled through the arena. Never before had Rome seen such a weapon. The predator tilted its head, studying the remaining warriors. 3 left. It was only a matter of time. But Spartacus refused to kneel. He gritted his teeth, gripping his sword tightly. "This thing bleeds," he growled. "That means we can kill it." Crixus and Gannicus nodded. There was no running, no surrender. The sands of the Colosseum would bear witness to either their triumph or their end. And so they charged.
Are you just watching?
Subscribe, please.
The Colosseum had never witnessed a battle like this. The air was thick with blood and dust, the scent of death hanging over the sand. The predator, wounded but relentless, stood tall, its mandibles twitching as it scanned the remaining gladiators. Spartacus, Crixus, and Gannicus, 3 warriors, outmatched but unbroken. Agron and Castus were dead. Their blood soaked the arena floor, feeding the hunger of the Roman crowd, who roared in approval at the carnage. Marcus Crassus, watching from his elevated seat, smirked. He had brought the greatest warriors of the rebellion here to die, and now the beast was finishing the job. But Spartacus had never accepted death. Not as a slave, not as a rebel, not now. He raised his sword and locked eyes with Gannicus and Crixus. No words were needed. They would not kneel. They would fight. The predator clicked its mandibles, acknowledging their defiance. Then it moved, faster than any beast, faster than any gladiator. It lunged at Crixus first. The Gaul met it head-on, raising his shield. The impact was bone-shattering. The predator's wrist blade ripped through the wood, cutting into Crixus' forearm. He gritted his teeth and pushed forward, driving his gladius toward the creature's ribs. Steel met alien flesh. The blade sank in deep. The predator shrieked in pain, but it did not falter. Its other arm lashed out, grabbing Crixus by the throat. With terrifying strength, it lifted him off the ground. Crixus gasped, his feet kicking against the sand. He struggled, stabbed again, but the predator didn't let go. Then with a sickening crunch, it snapped Crixus' neck. The Gaul's body went limp. The predator tossed him aside like a broken doll. Gannicus roared in fury, leaping onto the beast's back. His twin swords flashed, slashing wildly at its shoulders, its neck, its exposed flesh. The predator staggered, snarling in frustration. Gannicus was fast, too fast for it to grab, but the predator had other weapons. A sudden click. The blades on its wrist retracted. Its hand shot back, grabbing Gannicus by the hair. With inhuman strength, it yanked him forward, flipping him over its shoulder and slamming him onto the ground. Gannicus's breath left him in a violent gasp. Before he could recover, the predator impaled him through the stomach. Gannicus coughed, blood spilling from his lips. His swords fell from his hands, his body shuddering. The predator wrenched its blade free, letting the champion bleed out onto the sand. Only one remained, Spartacus. He stood alone, breathing heavily, covered in blood, some his own, some his brother's. His knuckles whitened around his sword. His heart pounded, not with fear, but with rage. The predator turned to face him, tilting its head. The battle was nearly over, but Spartacus was not finished. With a primal roar, he charged. The predator moved to strike, its wrist blade flashing. But Spartacus ducked, rolling beneath the attack. He came up swinging, slashing across the creature's thigh. More black blood spilled onto the sand. The predator snarled and retaliated, swiping with its claws. Spartacus barely dodged, feeling the wind of the strike pass inches from his face. He pivoted, stabbing for its exposed side, but the creature caught his wrist. A struggle, a test of strength. Spartacus gritted his teeth, every muscle in his body straining against the beast's power. But the predator was stronger. Slowly it forced his arm back, Its mandibles flared, its eyes glowing with savage glee. Then it activated its shoulder cannon. A blue glow filled Spartacus's vision. He reacted on instinct. He twisted, slamming his knee into the predator's wound. The creature flinched just for a second, but it was enough. Spartacus wrenched his arm free and slash! His sword carved through the predator's arm, severing it at the elbow. The beast roared in agony. Its severed limb fell to the sand, black ichor gushing from the wound. The crowd gasped. The predator staggered, disoriented. Spartacus didn't hesitate. He leaped onto its back, wrapping his arm around its throat, driving his sword deep into the base of its skull. The predator thrashed, shrieking, its remaining arm clawing at him. But Spartacus held firm, twisting the blade. The shrieks turned to gurgles. Its body convulsed. And then finally, it collapsed, dead. The Colosseum fell into stunned silence. Spartacus rose, covered in the beast's black blood, breathing hard. His brothers lay dead, but he remained. He had slain the monster. He turned his gaze upward, locking eyes with Crixus. The Roman general was no longer smirking. Spartacus raised his bloodied sword to the sky. The crowd erupted, cheers, roars, chants of his name. Even in death, even in slavery, Spartacus had won.